The night everything changed for Jake Walker started with a text from his little sister and a shirt that didn't smell like motor oil. "Don't you dare bail on this. She'll be in a red dress by the window. 7 p.m. Be there or I'm stealing your truck. If you've ever worked 12 hours straight at an auto shop, you know the last thing you want is a blind date in a fancy restaurant." But that's exactly how Jake ended up walking into the Harbor and Vine, the trendiest place on the waterfront in Seattle, Washington, feeling like he'd accidentally crashed somebody else's life. Exposed brick walls, Edison bulbs, soft jazz. Every table flickered with candlelight, and the clink of wine glasses blended with the low hum of conversation. Jake tugged at the collar of his clean gray t-shirt under a thrift store blazer and tried not to think about the fact that his entire net worth was parked outside in the form of a beat-up Ford pickup with more rust than paint. He scanned the room. There, by the big window overlooking the harbor, sat a woman in a red dress. Her blonde hair fell in loose waves over one shoulder. Gold drop earrings brushed the edge of her jaw when she turned her head. Candlelight made her skin look warm and smooth. She was alone. 2 place settings. 1 untouched glass of water. Jake swallowed. That has to be her, he thought. Maddie said red dress, by the window. Okay, you can do this. Just don't talk about brake pads in the first 5 minutes. If you've ever walked into a room and thought, everyone here knows what they're doing except me, you already know exactly how Jake felt. And if you love emotional, movie-style stories where one awkward mistake changes absolutely everything, hit subscribe to Extraordinary Stories right now, tap the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next story that feels a little too close to your heart. Because tonight, a broke mechanic and a paralyzed heiress are about to find each other because he sat at the wrong table. Jake took a deep breath and headed toward the window. Up close, the woman in red was even more striking. Clear hazel eyes, a perfectly calm expression, and something tight around the edges, like she'd been holding it together for a long time. He was so focused on her face that he almost missed what the linen tablecloth didn't completely hide. A black carbon fiber wheel peeking out near her hip. A wheelchair. A tiny jolt of surprise zipped through him, followed by embarrassment that he hadn't noticed sooner. He caught himself, shoved down whatever clumsy thoughts were trying to rise, and forced a smile. "Hi," he said, stopping by the table. "I'm Jake. You must be Amber?" The woman blinked, then let out a soft laugh that somehow made him feel both stupid and encouraged. "I'm definitely not Amber," she said, her voice smooth, lightly amused. "And I'm not on a blind date. I'm waiting for my father, who is very late, very rich, and very bad at time management." Jake's face went hot. "Oh, wow. Okay, I'm so sorry," he stammered. "My sister said red dress by the window, and I just saw. I'll go. Sorry to bother you." He started to back away, wishing the floor would just open and swallow him whole. "Hey," she said. "Wait." He did. "This is already more interesting than answering emails while I pretend not to be annoyed," she said. "Sit down for a second, wrong table guy. I promise I don't bite." He hesitated. "I really don't want to intrude," he said. "You already did," she replied, smiling. "You might as well commit." There was that sparkle in her eyes again, teasing, but with something fragile under it. Jake lowered himself into the chair across from her. "I'm Jake Walker," he said. "Professional wrong table sitter." "Charlotte Hayes," she said. "Professional billionaire's daughter." He choked on a laugh. "Seriously?" "Unfortunately," she said. "My dad owns Hayes Pacific Holdings, hotels, shipping, cranes that block everyone's view of the skyline. You've probably seen his name lit up on at least one building you can't afford to walk into." Jake winced. "Fair," he said. "I fix the cars of the people who park under those buildings." "You're a mechanic?" she asked, interest flickering in her eyes. "Yep," he said. "Walker Auto and Tire, 15 minutes south of here. If it has wheels and regrets, it ends up in my shop." She laughed again, softer this time. "Okay, that's funny," she said. "What are you doing on a blind date?" "Apparently I work too much and my social skills are rusted from lack of use," he said, making air quotes. "My sister's words, not mine." "She sounds dramatic," Charlotte said. You have no idea, he replied. A waiter appeared at his elbow, smiling in that professional way people do when they're not sure if they should be impressed or suspicious. Good evening, the waiter said. Still just the one this evening, Ms. Hayes? Make it two, Charlotte said before Jake could protest. My friend here just rescued me from dying of boredom. Jake glanced at her. I really can go wait at the bar, he said quietly, until your dad gets here, or until I figure out which table my actual date is at, assuming she didn't already see me embarrass myself and leave. Charlotte tilted her head, considering him. You're not from this world, she said. You're nervous, but you didn't flinch when you saw the chair. That alone buys you a drink at my table. His gaze flicked down for half a second, to the gleam of the wheel, the faint outline of the footrest under the tablecloth, and back up. I was surprised for like a microsecond, he admitted. Then my brain went, legs, wheels, whatever. Don't be a jerk, Jake. She smiled. Good instinct, she said. So tell me, Jake Walker mechanic, what's the worst thing that's ever happened on one of your dates? Oh, we're diving in like that? He said. Absolutely, she replied. I don't have time for small talk. He thought for a moment. One time a girl asked what I do, he said. I said, I own an auto shop. She said, like, you actually touch the cars? With your hands? Then she spent the rest of the night complaining about her nail tech. I paid the bill and drove her home, and spent the next 3 months pretending dating apps didn't exist. Charlotte burst out laughing. I'm so sorry, she said. That's awful. What about you? He asked. Worst date? She swirled the water in her glass. I had a guy tell me I was so inspiring for going out in public, she said. Then he asked if he could push my chair to feel what it's like I was an amusement park ride. You're kidding, Jake said. I wish, she replied. I told him no. He sulked for 20 minutes, then left because I wasn't letting him help. Jake shook his head. People are wild, he muttered. They really are, she agreed. For a while they just talked. About movies, about their favorite greasy spoon diners, about how Jake's idea of a perfect day was working on a '67 Camaro in his bay with classic rock on the radio, and how Charlotte's was a morning coding in a coffee shop, followed by an afternoon wheeling along the waterfront with noise-canceling headphones. Coding? He repeated. Like computers? Yes, like computers, she said, amused. I do freelance software development, mostly systems for small businesses, online booking, inventory, that kind of thing. You fix broken systems, he said. I fix broken cars. We're basically in the same business. Exactly, she said, grinning. The whole time, Jake noticed something. When Charlotte talked about work or hobbies, her face lit up. When she talked about her family, specifically her father, her shoulders tightened almost imperceptibly. Eventually, the question that had been hovering on his tongue since he sat down slipped out. So, he said carefully, have you always used the chair? Her eyes didn't harden the way he feared they might. 3 years, she said. I was 24. Wrong-way driver on I-5. We were coming back from a weekend at the lake. He hit us head-on. My mom died at the scene. I woke up with a broken spine and a father who decided I was suddenly made of glass. The matter-of-fact way she said it made his chest ache. I'm sorry, he said quietly. About your mom. About all of it. Thank you, she replied. Most people immediately jump to, have you tried this treatment? Or maybe one day you'll walk again? They need me to say I'm hopeful so they can feel comfortable. She looked him straight in the eye. I'm paralyzed from the waist down, she said. A spinal cord injury is not a math problem I can solve. This is my life. I can be grateful and angry and fine and not fine, all in the same day. He nodded. Seems fair, he said. I don't know what to say that wouldn't sound like some Hallmark card, but I can listen. I'm good at that. Cars don't talk back. A small, real smile tugged at her mouth. You'd be surprised, she said. Mine makes very dramatic noises when it wants an oil change. He laughed, tension easing a little. If your car ever needs a therapist, he said, send it to my shop. I just might, she replied. That was when a shadow fell across the table. Charlotte, a man's deep voice said. I'm sorry I'm late. Jake looked up. A tall man in his late 50s stood there, salt and pepper hair perfectly trimmed, navy suit tailored within an inch of its life. The air around him seemed to bend, the way it does around people who are used to owning every room they walk into. Hey, Dad, Charlotte said. You're only 40 minutes late. That's practically early for you. He leaned down to kiss the top of her head, then straightened and turned to Jake. And you are? He asked, the slightest edge in his tone. Jake stood so fast his chair scraped. Jake Walker, sir, he said. My sister set me up on a blind date. I sat at the wrong table. Your daughter was kind enough to let me stay until you got here. Richard Hayes's eyes flicked over him, taking in the faded blazer, the calloused hands, the hint of grease that never completely left his fingernails. A mechanic, he said. Yes, sir, Jake replied. I own a small shop south of downtown. A small business owner, Richard corrected, tone smooth and distant. Thank you for keeping Charlotte company, Mr. Walker. I'm sure you have somewhere to be. Charlotte's jaw clenched. Actually, she said, I invited him to stay for dinner. Her father's eyes narrowed just a fraction. Did you? He said. Yes, she replied. If that's a problem, feel free to reschedule your meeting with me for a night when you're on time. Jake wanted to slide under the table. Richard studied his daughter for a long moment, then turned his attention back to Jake. Very well, he said at last. Join us. The words were polite. The challenge underneath them was not. Jake sat back down, acutely aware that he had just become the most closely watched person in the room. He had no idea that this wrong seat, at this wrong table, would be the best place he'd ever end up. Dinner with Richard Hayes felt like a job interview Jake hadn't prepared for. So, Mr. Walker, Richard said after the waiter took their orders, my daughter tells me you own an auto shop. Yes, sir, Jake answered. Walker Auto and Tire. Been open 6 years. How many employees? 4 full-time, 1 part-time in the summer, Jake said. Annual revenue? Dad, Charlotte cut in. He came here for dinner, not alone. Richard didn't look at her. It's a simple question, he said. Jake thought about shrugging it off. Then he remembered every bill he'd fought to pay, every weekend he'd worked to keep the doors open. About $800,000 last year, he said. We're not winning any Forbes lists, but we pay our people, keep the lights on, and don't rip anyone off. For a split second, something like respect flickered in Richard's eyes. Honest work, he said. That's rare. Charlotte snorted softly. You'd be surprised, Dad, she said. Some of us actually like building things that aren't skyscrapers. The rest of the meal passed in a strange rhythm, Richard probing, Charlotte deflecting with jokes, Jake trying to stay polite without shrinking. When they finally stepped out into the damp harbor air, Charlotte let out a long breath. I'm sorry, she said. He interrogates everyone, even the florist. I've had worse, Jake said. One time a customer asked if I was smart enough to touch her BMW. And what did you say? Charlotte asked. That I could either fix the engine or her attitude, he said. One of those costs extra. She laughed, loud enough that a couple walking by glanced over. There was a pause. So, Jake said, stuffing his hands into his pockets, do you, want to hang out again, without your dad watching me like I'm about to steal the cutlery? Charlotte's mouth curved. I thought you'd never ask, she said. Text me. We'll figure it out. What started as, we should grab coffee sometime, turned into a rhythm so natural that Jake couldn't remember what his weeks had looked like before. On Thursdays, Charlotte rolled into Walker Auto and Tire, weaving expertly between lifts and tool carts. The first time she showed up, the guys froze mid-oil change. Eyes back on the work, fellas, Jake called. This is Charlotte. She's here to keep us from scheduling 3 transmission rebuilds at the same time. From a battered metal desk in the corner, she watched the chaos for an hour, fingers tapping thoughtfully on her laptop. You know this place is an organizational crime scene, right? She said finally. Ma'am, this is a family mess, Jake replied. It has character. It has double bookings, she corrected, and paper invoices from 2019 still taped to the wall. By the end of the week, Walker Auto had a simple website, an online booking system that actually worked, and color-coded bays for different jobs. A month later, Jake was staring at the end-of-day report on her screen. We're making more, and nobody's having a meltdown, he said. How? You stopped being surprised when people showed up, she said, and you let me organize the chaos. We make a good team. He wrapped an arm around her shoulders from behind, grease-stained hand hovering just shy of her clean t-shirt. Yeah, he said softly. We do. Outside the shop, their worlds kept colliding. He learned how she transferred from chair to couch with a practiced swing of her arms, and that she hated when people grabbed the handles of her chair without asking. She learned that he hummed under his breath when he concentrated, and that he apologized to cars when he accidentally scraped his knuckles on them. There were bad days. Days when Charlie, he'd started calling her that, and she let him, woke up with muscle spasms so strong they stole her breath. On those days, he asked, company or space? Sometimes she just texted, bring fries and silence, and he showed up, plopped on her couch, and watched stupid videos until the tightness in her jaw loosened. There were days when Jake stared at bills and supplier emails and felt the old fear gnawing at his ribs. On those days, she rolled into the office, opened a spreadsheet, and said, Okay, panic later. Let's look at numbers first. They became each other's safe place without realizing exactly when it had happened. Not everyone approved. One Saturday afternoon, Charlotte's father stopped by her downtown apartment unannounced. The place was bright and open, all wide doorways and low counters, a space built for her body, not in spite of it. Richard paced in front of the windows. So it's serious, he said at last, with this mechanic. His name's Jake, she said. And yes, it's serious. He lives paycheck to paycheck, Richard insisted. What kind of future can he offer you? Charlotte's hands tightened on the wheels of her chair. Dad, I write code and make my own money, she said. I'm not looking for someone to fund my lifestyle. I'm looking for someone who actually sees me. That's not fair, he snapped. I've done nothing but take care of you since the accident. You've done nothing but try to put me in a display case since the accident, she shot back. Good lighting, inspirational speeches, no actual autonomy. The words hung heavy between them. I don't approve of this, he said stiffly. But you're an adult. I can't stop you. Just be careful. Jake saw the wheelchair first, she said, and still sat down. That tells me more than any background check. When he left, she sat in the quiet for a long time, staring at the door. Later that night, when Jake showed up with Thai food and that little line between his eyebrows that meant he was worried, she told him everything. I get it, Jake said when she finished. He thinks I'm not enough. He doesn't know you, she said. Doesn't matter, Jake replied. He's your dad. She reached for his hand. You are enough for me, she said. That has to count for something. He laced their fingers together. It counts for everything, he said. The first time they said I love you wasn't under fireworks or on some mountain at sunset. It was in Charlotte's SUV at a red light, rain streaking the windshield, on the way back from a charity gala where half the room had looked at Jake like he'd stolen his suit. I know they don't matter, he said, staring out at the traffic. But being the poorest guy in the room who everyone assumes is temporary, it wears on you. Welcome to my world, she said quietly. Try being the girl in the wheelchair at those parties. People either gush about how brave I am for existing or pretend I'm part of the decor. He winced. Sorry, he said. I didn't mean to make it all about me. It's about both of us, she replied. We're a package deal now, whether my dad likes it or not. There was a quiet beat. I love you, you know, she added, like she was stating a simple fact. Jake's heart tripped. You do? He asked. Yeah, she said. I tried not to. Made it 3 weeks. He laughed, breathless. Good, he said. Because I've been in love with you since the night you called me wrong table guy and roasted my blazer. She snorted. That blazer deserved it, she said. But I love you too. They drove on, both of them smiling at nothing, hearts steadying around a brand new truth. They had no idea a storm was coming that would test everything they'd just promised each other. The storm hit in the middle of the night. Rain slammed Seattle so hard it sounded like static, and down in the industrial strip south of downtown, gutters overflowed fast. At 3:27 a.m., Jake's phone rang nonstop. "Boss," Marco shouted. "The shop's flooding. Water everywhere. We killed the power, but it's coming in under the doors." "I'm on my way," Jake said, already pulling on jeans. Charlotte woke as he grabbed his keys. "What happened?" she asked. "Shop's underwater," he said. "I gotta go." "Then I gotta go too," she replied, already sliding into her chair. "Call a rideshare with high ground clearance. I'm not letting your life's work drown without me." 20 minutes later, they stepped into ankle-deep water at Walker Auto and Tire. Jake splashed straight in, yelling orders. "Get the cars outside, anything electrical up high, nobody touches an outlet." Charlotte wheeled to the office step, locked her brakes, and hauled herself up onto it so the chair stayed dry. Then she pulled out her laptop. "Okay, listen up," she shouted over the roar. "If it's ruined, yell what it is. Marco, take pictures. I'm logging everything for insurance. No one dies for a compressor, got it?" For hours they fought the water, guys pushing cars out into the rain, stacking toolboxes on benches, Charlotte barking questions to the insurance company on speakerphone while she built a detailed inventory. By dawn, the rain had eased. The shop was a mess, but it was an organized mess. Piles labeled trash and salvage, a whiteboard of costs, big fans humming in the corners. Jake dropped onto the stairs, soaked and exhausted. "That's it," he said. "Even if the claim comes through, we're done for months." Charlotte rolled closer. "Hey," she said. "Look at me." He did. "We're not done," she said quietly. "You have good people, a solid business, and a girlfriend who can out-argue any insurance adjuster. You're getting back up. Period." Before he could answer, a familiar voice came from the doorway. "Looks like you already have a recovery plan," Richard said. He stood there in a rain-spotted suit, taking in the fans, the piles, the whiteboard. "Marco called me," he explained. "Apparently I still terrify your employees." Charlotte gave a half laugh. "They've seen you yell at a scratch," she said. "It leaves a mark." Richard stepped closer, eyes moving from the flooded bays to his daughter on the step, hair damp, laptop balanced on her knees. "You did all this?" he asked. "With them," she said. "It's just project management with extra mud." He was quiet for a long beat. "I spent 3 years treating you like you would shatter if the world pushed too hard," he said at last. "Tonight I watched you run a disaster site." He swallowed. "I thought the wheelchair meant fragile," he admitted. "Turns out it was my imagination that was weak. I'm sorry, Charlie. I should have seen what you kept trying to tell me, that you're still you." Tears sprang into her eyes. "I needed to hear that," she whispered. He turned to Jake. "And I owe you an apology, Mr. Walker," he added. "I saw grease and a cheap blazer and decided you weren't good enough. But you kept my daughter safe, fought for this place, and didn't run when things got ugly." Jake shifted, uncomfortable. "I love her," he said simply. "That's the whole story." Richard exhaled. "Then I'm grateful you sat at the wrong table," he said. "If you two decide to make this permanent, you'll have my blessing, for whatever that's worth." Charlotte blinked. "Did you just approve of my boyfriend?" she asked. "I did," Richard said. "Miracles happen in floods, apparently." 3 months later, after insurance money, long hours, and a lot of coffee, the shop was almost back to normal. On a quiet Sunday night, Charlotte rolled through the front door at Jake's texted request. "Jake, need you at the shop. Emergency. Charlotte, if this is about a missing socket, I'm leaving you here." "Why are the lights off?" she called. "Back here," he answered. She pushed into the main bay and froze. No fluorescent glare, just strings of fairy lights along the rafters and a scatter of candles on tool carts and workbenches. In the middle of the floor stood a small table with 2 glasses of white wine. Jake stepped from behind a lift, wearing a dark shirt and that nervous half-smile she knew too well. "What did you do?" she whispered. He knelt in front of her chair so their eyes were level. "A year ago, I walked into a restaurant I couldn't afford, sat at the wrong table, and met a woman in a red dress who made fun of my blazer and then saved my life," he said. "Since then, you've turned my chaos into a plan, held me together when everything fell apart, and proved that my favorite place to be is wherever you are." He pulled out a small ring box and opened it. Inside, a simple gold band caught the candlelight. "Charlotte Hayes," he said, hands shaking. "Will you marry me? Will you keep sharing the wrong tables and the flooded nights and all the ordinary Tuesdays in between?" Her answer was immediate and breathless. "Yes," she said, laughing and crying at once. "Obviously, yes." He slipped the ring onto her finger and kissed her while the fairy lights blurred. From behind stacked tires came a cheer as Marco, Maddie, Aunt Diane, and Richard stepped out grinning, phones already recording. "About time," Maddie called. "I was starting to think I'd planned that first blind date for nothing." They got married 3 months later in the repaved parking lot behind the shop. There was a white tent, folding chairs, and a concrete aisle wide enough for a chair and a pair of boots side by side. Charlotte wheeled herself down it in a red dress that looked a lot like the one from that first night. Richard walked next to her, one hand resting lightly on the back of her chair, not guiding, just present. When he placed her hand in Jake's, his voice shook. "Take care of my girl," he said. "Not because she needs rescuing, because she deserves someone who never underestimates her again." "I know," Jake said. "I won't." Their vows were short. "I promise not to treat you like something to fix," she told him. "You're more than the problems you solve. I promise to ask instead of assume," he told her. "To push your chair when you want help and walk beside you when you don't. To show up, even when everything feels broken." They kissed to the sound of car horns and applause, and later, their first dance was a slow circle, Jake's hands over hers on the wheels, turning her under the tent lights while an old love song played from a speaker balanced on a toolbox. It wasn't glamorous. It felt exactly right. Maybe you've never sat at the wrong table in a fancy restaurant and met a stranger who changed your whole life. Maybe you've never watched people decide your worth in a split second because of your job, your bank account, or the chair you roll in. But maybe you do know what it's like to feel out of place, to wonder if anyone will ever really see you. Not your labels, not your scars, just you. Jake and Charlotte's story whispers something simple. Most of us don't need a hero to fix us. We just need someone brave enough to sit down, listen, and stay. If this story touched you, tell me in the comments if you've ever had a wrong table moment, or if you've chosen to really see someone others overlooked. And if you want more stories like this, please subscribe to Extraordinary Stories, tap the like button, share this video with someone who still believes in second chances, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss what comes next.